lovely peeps, I have a few announcements for the channel. As you have probably noticed, there hasn't been a lot of videos going up over the month of May, and that's because I have been working behind the scenes to try and work out different ways that the channel can go ahead and still work for me and for you. One of the changes that I am going to be making is the Sunday Hangouts are going to be Patreon exclusive. They always used to be Patreon exclusive. I just made them available to everybody because of the Panini that we experienced in 2020. I wanted there to be a place that everyone could come and hang out, talk about sewing, talk about fashion, talk about whatever they wanted to, just not the Panini. I've kind of carried it on since then. As I say, the Hangouts did start life out as a fairly high tier Patreon exclusive benefit. It was something that I changed for my mental health and for you guys to have somewhere to come and hang out, like I say, and talk about all things not Panini. It's something that's kind of just carried on since then. So we're what, 4 years? 2020, 2021, 22, 23. Yeah, we're 4.5 years into live Sunday Hangouts. And it's not been every Sunday. I've been away. I've been doing other things on, you know, I've been on holidays and in London, and I've tried to do a Sunday Hangout as often as possible every single week. I really, really enjoy them. I think it's one of those things that it's a nice routine to have. It's a nice place to be on a Sunday, sitting in the sewing room, waffling with you guys, hearing about what you've been up to, getting encouragement to look through my fabric stash or go through my patterns, and basically talk about the thing that we love. One of the things I have noticed is a slight uptake in me annoying people. And that's gonna happen. I know logically that I am not for everybody. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that I am going to annoy some people because of certain opinions, beliefs, and things that I do. I know not everybody was a fan of me having my partner on last year. Not that we're together anymore, but you know, like at the time I only ever got to see him at weekends, and so it was a case of like, we either do this together or we don't do the hangout at all. And I love hanging out with you guys, so it was like, yeah, come hang out with us. And you know, at one point he was just like, yeah, I want to come hang out on camera, because he was always in the room. So it was, you know, the Sunday Hangouts are Shan unfiltered. There is no editing, it's all live. It is what it is. And I definitely have noticed that I am not everybody's cup of tea, which I never expected to be. And logically in my brain I know that, but you know, there's other stuff going on behind the scenes that is making that very difficult for me to deal with, and I'm not dealing with it very well. So I have made the decision that the Hangouts are going to go back to being Patreon exclusive. They are going to go in at the $2 a month tier. I'm also going to start a YouTube membership because I appreciate not everybody has or wants to start a Patreon account. So there will be a membership available on YouTube as well, which will be priced accordingly. The Hangouts will be advertised there. They'll be on Patreon. It will be the same time, Sunday 11:30 AM my time, so British summer time at the moment. There'll be at least an hour, but they can sometimes be, you know, 2, 3, sometimes even, I think the longest one I did was 8. I made a jumpsuit in that one, but they will be over there. They are going to be completely ad-free. At the moment I run them ad-free as they are live, and then the adverts get put on after the fact, sometimes automatically, and that's why there's a million adverts at the beginning. It's not something that I do purposefully. I go back in and I will take the adverts down to once every half an hour. I'm going to leave the previous Hangouts up available because there's a full playlist for those, because I know some people like to put that on and have me burble in the background, which is amazing of you. But the Patreon and YouTube members Hangout, which will be the same thing, just advertised in 2 different places, they will be completely advert free at the time, and then also after the fact if you want to watch them later, because I know not everybody gets up at this. I appreciate time zones are a thing, and not everybody can be awake ready to hang out with me because it's 2 AM their time. I hope you guys understand. I appreciate this is not going to be for everybody. I appreciate that times are hard, and you know, cost of living crisis, and $2 a month, you know, $24 a year, that's not a small chunk of change when you consider that there are so many other entertainment subscriptions out there. I appreciate it's adding to that subscription bill. I know that it's, like I say, not going to be for everybody, and I don't want to exclude anybody because they can't afford it. but it has been something that I've really seriously thought about over the last week and decided that going forward sustainably, for me to want to keep doing them and to be able to keep doing them, putting them behind a paywall is going to be better for me, which I appreciate is not going to be better for everybody else, but it is something that I need. Something that's been said to me for many years since I started doing YouTube is, if you put yourself out there, you have to expect comments, and I vehemently disagree with that. I don't think that because anyone puts themselves out there, me, my tiny little corner of the interwebs, to giant megastars, I don't think that anybody has the right to comment on their physical appearance, their body, choices that they've made that haven't hurt anybody else. You're entitled to your opinions, you're entitled to think those things, you're entitled to say those to your friends and family. I don't think taking to your keyboard or your phone and putting those into writing and sending it to somebody that you actually don't know is appropriate or called for or a good idea. So I vehemently disagree with that statement. However, at the moment my mental health is not the best. I am trying to work out a way that I can continue to do what I love and involve you in a way that works for me, and my theory is that the very few, because I know the majority of you out there are absolutely wonderful and would never, I mean, everybody thinks things about people. I know they do. I do, but I never ever say it to somebody's face unless they specifically ask me for a very critical opinion, and even then I'm hopefully tactful. And I would never ever write down a comment and send it to somebody in like a comment or an email or anything like that. So my theory is, I mean, not that I'm going to be able to stop people emailing me, but my theory is that if I put a paywall between me and those kind of comments, that if somebody pays to come and watch the content and then wants to be mean, then at least they've paid for the privilege of being mean, kind of thing. I really hope that makes sense. I'm really not trying to make it more difficult for people to access my content. The main content, the sew-alongs, the lookbooks, the fabric hauls, all of that regular content that's not necessarily me personally, but my expertise and showing you how I do something or the things that I'm planning on doing, that's all going to be free on the channel. I never want to put a paywall between you and knowledge. Like, I don't want you to have to, I don't want it to be something that you have to pay to be able to learn something new, because all of the stuff I've learnt has been from free sources on the internet. So I've never wanted to put a paywall between me and that side of the channel. What I'm trying to do is put a paywall between me personally and the greater wide world web, because realistically I have a very core audience who watch my channel and love my channel and enjoy the things that I put out, but I also have the ability, not that it's happened, but the ability to be seen by whoever wants to see it. And I know not everybody is going to like who I am as a person and my thoughts and opinions on things, which I do share very freely on the Hangouts. So that is the biggest change that's going to be happening to the channel going forward. So starting this Sunday the 9th of June, that's going to be the first Patreon exclusive or member exclusive hangout. The way that it will work is I will set the hangout up ahead of time. It will be unlisted. Anyone who's a YouTube member will have access to that video without having to do anything. Anyone that is on Patreon will get the link to the unlisted video. They can follow it through that way. If you don't have notifications set up for an email when one of your Patreon creators uploads a new post, you can turn that on. You can turn it on just for me if you don't want to get it for everyone. So that way you'll get an email with how to find all of the details for the unlisted hangout that is happening on that Sunday. I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys understand. I know the majority of you will. I know this is not going to be for everybody. I am not expecting every single one of you to take me up on that offer, although if every single person that subscribed to this channel, which is over 30,000, gave $1 a month, then good grief, imagine the content that we could create here. I know that's not how it works, but if you do want to continue to see the Sunday Hangouts, the live Sunday Hangouts, they are going to be exclusive on Patreon going forward. I hope you understand. Thank you.